What's up, guys? It's Dave. Hope all is well with you. I'm back with a message/recording. I'm a couple days late, but I just want to talk about something that's very significant, something that's very important for you when you choose to work on yourself, when you choose the spiritual pathways of living, or when you choose the route of self-development from a whole health perspective, meaning your mind, your body, and your soul. There's multiple dimensions of wellness, guys. The wellness that you see out in the field is not giving you the true empirical, is a good word, evidence of what wellness truly is. So I studied wellness from at a graduate level and have done empirical research on wellness, have learned many theories behind wellness. There's behavioral theories, then there's also wellness philosophy and wellness clinical application. So what you see that everyone considers wellness is truly not wellness. Wellness, I'm going to go off on a tangent right now, just to give you an idea of what wellness is, because wellness does play a major role in spiritual evolution. Wellness is an idea that you're on a continuum of change. There's two ends of the continuum. And on one end, like on the right side, if you look on the right, left to the right, if you go from a linear perspective from the left to the right, you're going to have high level wellness. And then each category between the left and the right, it's linear. So on the left, you'll have death, pretty much. I don't want to, pretty much death. I'll say that word. I don't like using that word because we don't really die. Even in the physical world, we transition. But in the third dimensional aspect, you'll understand the word death. And then on the right, you'll have high level wellness. And the whole idea of wellness is at every single point in your life, you're resonating at a frequency along those points. So the purpose of wellness is to maintain your wellness. That's the whole purpose, is that when you're in a wellness approach, when you're engaging in wellness as an approach to better your health and your mind and your body and your whole health, you're actively working to maintain a specific vibration, a specific balance, right? And that balance parlays into about, depending on the theories out there by the researchers, about anywhere between 5 to 12 dimensions of wellness. So I'm one of those practitioners who is more spiritually based. So there's a researcher called Travis. His last name is Travis. I always go by last names. And I forgot his first name, actually. But he has 12 dimensions of wellness that's more spiritually based. And Hitler has about 8 wellness dimensions. And when I use Hitler's model, I add on a couple of my own dimensions. But basically, I'm not going to go into the spiritual aspect, but basically the 8 or so dimensions of wellness are nutrition and dietary behavior. There's physical activity. There's social health, or social wellness is what I should really say. Intellectual wellness, emotional wellness. I said physical, right? Physical activity, physical wellness. Financial wellness, and occupational wellness, and spiritual wellness. And then I add on my own research. I do lifestyle management. I've added on lifestyle management, and I've added on, what other one did I always add on? I forgot environmental wellness as well. But I always add on lifestyle management. And what else do I always add on? Lifestyle management, and there's another one that I created. But generally, that's the overview of wellness. And there's a model out there that I follow where spirituality is the center. So if you could just picture in your head a round circle, and within that circle there's another circle, And inside that small circle, in the middle of that larger circle, you're going to just write the word spirituality or spiritual wellness. And then you're going to create lines that offshoot, kind of like a wheel, like spokes of a wheel off that center circle. And you're going to make however dimensions of wellness that we just spoke about, 8 to 10 or whatever. And then you're going to write the words into those little segments. And now you have like a wheel, right? And then what you really do is just assess yourself in each segment to see where you are in wellness. And there's all these protocols behind that. You could do it just by answering, qualitative inquiry type questions. It's really not that technical, but you can make it technical. But basically, there's questions you answer in your life, and you can analyze where you're lacking in your wellness. And the whole idea is that like a wheel or a tire is supposed to be inflated with air, and then if you're lacking in one area, it looks like you're deflated here, you're deflated there. A lot of people like visuals. You'll start seeing that. But the whole point is that spirituality, the model that I like to use is spirituality is the center. So that means that spirituality is the nucleus, so to speak, of that cell or that tire, and it holds everything together because all the spokes are popping out from the middle and it's holding everything together. And then all the other segments are interrelated and interconnected. So that means, for instance, say you're having financial problems, your financial wellness, you're not doing well, you're having issues, you have a job, but your money is not where it wants to, your money's not coming in the way you thought it could come in. So how does that work? It's interrelated and interconnected to everything else. So it's going to affect maybe the way you work at your job because your mind is preoccupied. Then the money is not going to allow you to access certain things in life, maybe certain things that assist your life, maybe whether it be food, whether it be supplements, whether it be if you have a spouse or a family or a family member that you take care of or whatever it is, or friends that you have that you're helping out, you're lacking in that area, which creates instability in those areas. So maybe if you have children and you can't provide or pay the tuition for that, it's going to create more stress. And then that stress is going to come on you. Say your kids are upset, it's going to affect the way you socialize with your family and socialize with your friends. And then say, you're so stressed out from all of that you usually exercise. So you stop going running or you stop going to the gym. And then from stop going to the gym, you've started eating worse, right? Now your dietary behavior is changing. Do you see how this works? It just all affects one another. And that's the whole idea of wellness. And with the spirituality being in the center, when we realize and understand that we're connected to something beyond this physical realm that is multidimensional, which is first your higher self and your soul, and then it goes up higher into your monad, and then up into your oversoul, and then up to source, i.e. God, or creator of all that is, however you call or name your higher aspect of who you are, because you are part of God. You are an essence of God. So you are God. So with all of this, I'm just giving you a little idea of what wellness is, but we need to start understanding that we are beings that are affected by many dimensions of wellness and health that are in this society. So the dark forces understood when they created the Matrix that we have specific systems in place within our physical body that can be targeted to control us on the mind, body, soul level, because we have quantum anatomy and we have physical anatomy, which work hand in hand with one another. When someone has a disease or when someone's suffering from a disease, it actually starts off in the spiritual realms. It actually starts off in the subtle realms. Your soul has programmed many things into its blueprint before you actually incarnated into the physical body. So you've pre-programmed your life experiences. Now, the dark forces enhance or target or create more programming based on your blueprint. So say you come into, and I'm bringing in the whole wellness thing into this in a couple minutes, but say you programmed in your life that you wanted to experience anxiety to some degree. So you have this anxiety program running from a specific event that you experienced, which triggered an anxiety, and now you have an anxiety program. We all knew that entering the third dimensional reality here, the fear-based holographic time matrix that the dark forces created, we knew that coming into here. But once you come here, you go through, as you incarnate into the womb of your mother, and as your soul enters, there was all these dark technologies put in place around the ley lines of the planet and the chakras, the vortexes. They do many things to bastardize and deplete and pervert the natural laws of Earth and the natural laws of our bodies. And what happens is when your soul incarnates, it goes through all these dark technologies which erase the quantum mind and erase the physical mind. Well, the physical mind was adjusted and manipulated and genetically modified by the dark forces. So our genetics are played with and tampered with. So that's why we couldn't access specific superpower, supersensory abilities that we have, which we are coming into now. So when your soul entered the body, it was erased of everything that it knew. That was the whole thing about Earth. And this is one of the many reasons why Earth is so difficult to live on, because you have lost complete understanding and all knowing that you are connected to source and that you are a multidimensional being and that you are divine in every way, that this is just a school, and that, you know, if you're from another ascended planet and you connect or resonate with the terms of starseed, empath, angelic, twin soul, twin flame, light warrior, light worker, if you identify with these words, you'll know that you're most likely from another ascended planet, where when you lived on those planets, you are aware of your multidimensional you are aware of your multidimensional being, meaning that when you were incarnate into that body, you were directly connected to source. You could do so many things like bilocate or remote view or enter the subtle realms, and remember everything and still hold physical form. And there's many things that we are able to do when we are in our full human, divine, God, self blueprint. So part of this whole idea of them screwing up with our anatomy and on a subtle level and a physical level, and then working on the earth, Gaia's anatomy, and screwing up her anatomy through infusing dark technologies through the ley lines, through the chakras, through the vortexes. Just so you know, most of the war on the planet, it's a spiritual war. So the Middle East is covered in a major vortex, a very spiritual vortex there. That's why there's always war and ritual there. It's really ritual. Wars are rituals for them. So that's why the whole area of the Middle East and other areas around the world, when there's wars there, it's mostly to bastardize and pervert and deplete the energy frequency around those sacred lands, because they don't want those areas to activate, because if those areas activated, it activates the human genome, or the humans or the humanity on Earth. So think about everything that happens in the world and correlate that to what I'm talking about, and it'll start making sense to you. But back to wellness and our spiritual evolution in this ascension cycle, we need to start realizing who we are first, Like if I can give you a rudimentary approach to ascending step by step, I would say look at yourself from a wellness perspective first, what I spoke about. Find out what areas of life that are bleeding, so to speak, and go to those areas and start working on each segment or each area. Where is, I would say the top three, start working at the top three. And I would also definitely start working with your dietary behavior first, because we need to, even if it's not an issue for you right now, like you may not think it's an issue, but it most likely is, because most people on the planet right now, even if you eat healthy, you probably can do much better. Even myself, where I'm into all of this stuff, but I find myself, sometimes at the end of the day running to get food, but I could be eating better food. I mean, I eat organic, 95% organic. Obviously, when you go out to dinner and things like that, so there's some restaurants just don't serve organic, but I like, everything in moderation, but, at home, we can do much better with eating, right? Like you don't need to, for instance, cook frozen food. From an Ayurvedic perspective, frozen food has no nutrients in it because of the ice molecules. Basically, when you freeze food, the genetic structure and the nutrient structure of the food changes. And due to that change, it loses all the nutritional value. That's from an Ayurvedic perspective. But sometimes when you get home late at night and you have, say, I don't know, like organic latkes or latkes, whatever you call them, those potato things. Sometimes, I know my mom likes them. I don't know if they're frozen or not, but she said they're organic and there's like vegetables in them. And you think you might be eating healthy because you're popping in these organic latkes or whatever. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing those right. But you might take a step back and be like, that you could do better than that, throw together, I don't know, some superfood smoothie, using awesome like spirulina, organic spirulina, and some maca root and some ginger powder and some nice frozen, frozen, right? There you go, frozen. But I use frozen fruit. But when I can, I use, raw fruit if I can. But sometimes it doesn't work out. I'll throw raw bananas in there. But, putting in more, like you could put in reishi mushroom, you could put in avocado. I do raw avocados in my smoothies. Like these are more nutrient dense foods that your body can absorb much better too, by the way, because you're blending it and it's easier to go through into the bloodstream, into the gut lining, etc. But I would start off with that first, is like start working on your dietary, and then maybe pick 2 or 3 other things that are lagging in your life. And you'll see, once your body starts receiving nutrient dense foods that are high in biophotons, which is light, tons of light emission, the light codes in the foods that emit into your cells, which you then emit out of your biofield. Once you start, and that's connected to consciousness, etc., and becoming more aware. So once you start improving your life and changing your behaviors or modifying your behaviors to this, you will start raising your consciousness and start seeing things differently and perceiving things differently and feeling physically well, which you will start automatically changing those other wellness dimensions that you're having issues in. And eventually you will come to balance. But it is a process. It's a continuum of change, and you have to be patient with yourself. Now, there's other things that happen or that can be problematic for you, like spiritual type things. Like you might have some entities attaching onto you, some programs still running, right? Some third dimensional programs still running of fear, So it's a whole health approach. And I can help people do this. What I can do, you can do. So I'm no different than anyone. I just have been placed here on this planet to guide and educate and help people in this manner. So doing energy healing, guiding on clinical health application, connecting, doing intuitive readings, things like this. I'm here to do that work, but I'm also here for you to learn how to do it for yourself and also to help others do that work. And so I don't like building hierarchies between me and clients. I don't like to build division or polarity and duality when I work with people. We all have specific gifts. We all have special gifts, and we're here to bring those gifts to the world and expand them out and help others heal. But we're all part of this ascension cycle, and we all are connected to angelic templates, guys. Every human on this planet has an angelic blueprint, meaning we have genetic code and we have direct connection. So genetic code that's of angelic ancestry, meaning that our DNA, much more DNA can be activated that's linked up to the angelic realms and the higher aspects of God, in conjunction to who we are, meaning the higher beings, higher realm beings, ascended masters, angelics, all types of beings, off-world, benevolent ETs that are highly evolved, spiritually, technologically, everything, spiritually, technologically, even physically, right? They have a lot more to offer in terms of physical health, physical well-being, mental health, mental well-being, spiritual health, spirituality, technology, and how technology plays into assisting all those things. So just like today and the quantum biofeedback apparatus that I have that I've been using, that's a technology that's amazing. You know, it's just a beautiful device that can tune into your own bioresonance and tell us exactly what's going on from the mind, body, and soul, or the mind, body, and the biofield, really. So if you want to check that out, or you want to have a session with me, you don't even have to talk to me. A lot of people just want to get sessions and run sessions, you just need to send me some stuff. I do recordings online, so I can actually film on my screen, run a session for you. I will need your voice. I will need a photo of you and your birth date. And then I scan everything, and I can give you a session and record a session for you with me. And I can record my screen. I will give you a session with me talking. I will send you a harmonization treatment. And also I could guide you on nutritional approaches and lifestyle routines that I've created through my own knowingness and my own connection to spirit, but also from my own research in the field. So I've created my own program that's still in the works. So I haven't really launched my new programs, and I'm not sure when I'm going to exactly launch them. But right now, currently, I can do the quantum biofeedback and guide you definitely on supplements, dietary strategies, physical health applications, lifestyle routines, where I've blended theories, philosophies, and approaches from both my own personal spiritual connection, but also from research in the field, in the clinical health field, from a more esoteric and holistic perspective. So I also want to make one more comment on what I'm seeing out there in the spiritual field. And I want you guys to be very, very cautious on who you work with and how you approach your spiritual development and your health your health development, whatever, your well-being, your spiritual evolution in this ascension cycle. Because I've noticed a lot of people on social media, primarily Instagram, they're falling under this false light ascension. And I don't drop names. I don't talk bad about people. I say these things just to be as a word or words of caution, so you don't get caught up in what's happening right now. The dark forces know exactly how to manipulate our spiritual evolution. They've been doing it for eons. So they're quite intelligent when it comes to this stuff. So they've created this whole new age movement where the false light ascension falls under, and a lot of practitioners in the spiritual community, most don't even know they're under it or falling under it, but they're creating hierarchy within their practices, and they're creating hierarchy within their workshops. They're creating hierarchy within their retreats. It's as easy and simple as just jumping on Instagram and watching someone's story and seeing video with them at a retreat and seeing their behaviors act out. They're creating this division. They're creating this guru mentality, or this idea of them being the guru and the clients being inferior to a certain extent. I mean, you can go on some stories and see them at a workshop and they're sitting up on a platform and the clients are on the floor, like looking up. That's always been bizarre to me. And I've been an avid supporter and participant of Kundalini yoga for like 3 years, but I haven't done it in 3 years, but I did it for about 3 years, like every week, and maybe 2 years. And I follow the constructs. I believe in the science because it is a science. I believe it's a medicinal. It's helped me tremendously. I recommend anyone that's battling anything in their life, physical disease, mental disease, to try out Kundalini yoga. You don't even have to go to a studio. You can actually throw it on YouTube and watch it and do it at home, and you'll see the massive transformation that you can truly experience. But in Kundalini yoga, Yogi Bhajan sat on like a platform, and that doesn't resonate with me. It never did. So, you know, there's that going on. Like I see that at retreats where someone's sitting up on a platform looking down at people. There's a lot of negative ego where people are posting to their feeds or their storylines of other people, like their clients or whatever, talking, saying nice things about them or whatsoever, which is great. But that practitioner will post that on their story feed, and it's always a constant need for recognition, a constant need for celebrity, a constant need for fame, a constant need for attention. It's sometimes we have to say to ourselves, do I want someone who's going to help me find myself further? Do I need someone who is an ego? Do I need someone who's constantly blowing up their ego, blowing up their own head? It's scary because these practitioners that are doing this are very contradictory. They act out, are contradictive, and they act out in contradictive ways, very hypocritical ways where they don't even remember or see what they're saying or doing. Like you can watch one of their videos or posts on Instagram and see them saying one thing, and then like 2 days later or 3 days later, they're doing the actual opposite of what they told you 3 days ago. And what's scary is that most people are not picking up on this because of the manipulation by the dark. The manipulation by the dark comes through agents or comes through interdimensional agents or physical agents that come into these practitioners' lives. And they work through them. So for instance, there's someone that I've seen and witnessed on social media that is well known, and they're connected to celebrities. And I know the couple celebrities I saw this person hang around are connected to the Illuminati. I actually saw a person with this person who is actually giving up the satanic Luciferian hand gesture of the Baphomet. So that's a whole nother story too, but you get my drift, guys, right? Like this is serious stuff. You don't want to be working with people who are directly or indirectly connected to the dark forces through celebrity, through that Hollywood fame type stuff, like where everyone is looking for celebrity within the spiritual community. If someone that you work with that's a spiritual practitioner and they're looking for celebrity, that's a red flag, because in fifth dimension, there is no such thing as celebrity. There will be no celebrity in fifth dimension. Everyone that's in the spiritual community worldwide has a specific mission, and I tell you right now, there will not be celebrity anymore in fifth dimensional spiritual living. There won't be. But these are just huge red flags for you to pick up very quickly. I mean, you can go on Instagram and see it all within an instant. I mean, there's people that are obsessed with the way they look, posting pictures of themselves constantly. And listen, I like looking at pictures of people, like if I follow some spiritual practitioners, it's cool to see them like in a park or a nice picture of them on a bench with a friend or whatever like that. But the ones that are more egotistical, you'll see the flavor of it. It's really easy to pick out. And their stories and their videos, it's always about themselves. They're always talking about themselves. They're always promoting themselves from a very like flashy and very obsessive point of view. Like it's very, I don't know, you get my drift. Anyway, I think I should end this now. I went on I talked about a couple different things, but I hope this helped you guys. Just finishing up my coffee, and wherever this may find you, I wish you so much love and peace and healing and abundance during this time. I hope that you have a great week. Hopefully I'll be doing another recording next week. Maybe I'll put up a couple posts today, maybe, or one today on my Instagram account. But hope all's well. Again, I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.